if I gave it all away.
Welcome back, everyone. Did anyone know that this is actually National Thyroid Awareness Month? I have with me the Vibrant Health Guru, and his name is Gunther Mueller. Gunther, welcome to the show. Tell everybody a little bit about yourself and what we're going to talk about today.
Hey, thank you, Carol. I'm one of the managing partners with Well Scottsdale here in beautiful Scottsdale, Arizona. We have worked extensively with one doctor named Dr. Mark Starr in the past. He's one of the thyroid gurus nationally. And so what we do at Well Scottsdale is we really optimize people's health for a better aging process. I always like to say, do we lose our hormones because we age, or do we age because we lose our hormones? It's a very interesting question, right? It's the chicken and the egg. And so thyroid is one of those master hormones, and because it's Thyroid Awareness Month, we want to talk about that and educate people, because what I found, and I work with about 250 physicians around the western part of the United States, Southwest and all that, and it's in the hormone thyroid space. And when we talk about hormones, we're also talking about testosterone and estrogen and progesterone and vitamin D3. Even though it's called a vitamin, it's actually a hormone. Where at Well Scottsdale, we do optimize all of that. And today, our free giveaway is a free book that can educate people on that. We're very much about education, because you can't make a good health decision these days without actually educating yourself.
Well, it starts off with your hormones. It really is all about that. From the time you're, in your teens, till now when you get older, it can cause a lot of trouble. Like what?
Well, there's about 100 symptoms associated with hypothyroidism. I can tell you a few of them. Fatigue. The number one symptom that patients are showing up to their doctor with today is fatigue. Doc, I'm tired all the time. I can't make it through the day. I have to have a Red Bull or a 5-hour energy shot, or go to Starbucks at 2 o'clock in the afternoon to get me a quadruple venti latte or something like that, right? And weight gain, unexplained weight gain. I mean, we're approaching the 60% obesity mark in this country right now. It's a huge issue.
Or can't get it off.
Can't get it off. January, everybody's getting gym memberships right now. They're trying to make New Year's resolutions. And
they've all failed.
They've all failed, yeah. I always say by February 14th, you're eating chocolate and they're all out the window, right? So, thinning hair, depression, poor memory, poor concentration, brain fog. 60% of Americans don't sleep at night right now. That's huge. And so what are they taking? Ambien, Lunesta. They're on synthetic drugs to try to sleep through the night. Brittle hair, brittle nails, sensitivity to cold. So folks that have cold hands, cold feet all the time, there's a reason for that.
And, when their thyroid is out, and we're talking about hormones, a lot of men, and you're a man.
I am.
Okay. They don't think it's their problem, that they don't have hormone problems, but that's not true, is it?
It's absolutely not true. And for the guys that are listening right now, look, one of the best things you're going to do to improve your quality life as a man that is aging is to get your hormone levels checked. And not just by anybody, because, folks, I want to tell you one thing. When you get your lab tests done every year, and I'm sure your doctor's a great doctor, might have been your family physician for the last 20 years, physicians out there today just don't know what they don't know. And if they don't know it, they can't teach it to you, and they can't treat you accordingly. So I want everybody to know that when they look at their lab slip in the future, there is no science behind the reference range on that lab slip. That is the average of a population. So if you're a 30-year-old, 40-year-old, 50-year-old, 60-year-old, whatever, it is the average of people in your age group, and that is what the expected range of your blood work is supposed to look like. So you mentioned men. Testosterone levels in men are anywhere from 200 to 1,200. And anywhere in between is completely normal. Okay. So if I'm a 52-year-old guy and I go in and get my lab work done and the tests come back and I'm completely normal, you're right. I'm normal for my age.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean I feel good.
That's right.
Right?
That's most people don't.
All right. Same thing with thyroid. This is a huge problem because the Endocrinology Society, the American Thyroid Association, they are not teaching physicians in this country how to treat thyroid appropriately. So when you go in and get your full lab panel done, I mean, a lot of women, they get frustrated and they're more in tune with their symptoms, let's say, than men are, right? So they will go to the doctor. They were like, I'm so tired of feeling fatigued and I don't sleep at night and I'm gaining weight and I'm irritable, I'm moody, I'm depressed, I'm cold all the time, right? I have all these symptoms going on. So I go to my OBGYN or I go to my family practice doctor and I say, look, I got all these symptoms. Well, let's run some lab work. Yeah, run everything because I really got to find out what's going on. So they run everything. Everything comes back normal. Doctor says everything's normal.
And you still don't feel good.
And you still don't feel good. And this goes on year after year after year. I can tell you most of the patients that we get at Well Scottsdale have been to 10 to 15 doctors over the last 10 years.
Now, you're located in Scottsdale, obviously.
Yes.
Now, when you work with people, do they call? Do you do a consultation with them? How does it work?
Yeah, they call and we do an initial consultation that is kind of a meet and greet, so you can, get with the practitioner, see if you like them, see if you think they know what they're talking about, which they obviously do because we've been doing this for a long time. And then you go and pick a treatment plan, and we do full extensive lab work, but we interpret that lab work very differently than the doctor you may be used to. So let's talk about thyroid again. Most people, when they get their thyroid labs done, they have not gotten their free T3 level tested. They'll go in and get their TSH level tested. They'll get their T4 tested. And if those two things are in the normal range, they will not treat your thyroid. Okay?
So you need to make, what was it?
It's called free T3.
Okay.
That is the active hormone. TSH and T4 are precursor hormones. So they're telling the body what it needs. So TSH tells the thyroid gland to make T4, and T4 needs to be converted into free T3. But what happens is as we age, we lose the enzyme that makes that conversion happen. So doctors today are only looking at the T4, and if your T4 is normal, they say it's not your thyroid. But yet you're suffering from all the symptoms of hypothyroidism. And the book that we're giving away today, and it's free to anybody that wants to have a copy of the book, explains all this in great detail.
Now, we're going to open up the lines to the audience to give it to everybody. Is that okay with you?
That's fine, yeah.
So the book is called Heart Attacks, Heart Failure, and Diabetes, Prevention and Treatment. But you said that it has everything. Why this book on this topic?
That is, it's a small book. It's easy to read, and it really covers the main killer of both men and women in this country. It is heart attack. It's not breast cancer for women. It's heart disease for women. For men, it's heart disease. And what the book explains is that when you optimize your thyroid, you can have up to a 90% reduction in cardiovascular events. So
your thyroid could even be causing you maybe to have a heart attack?
Absolutely.
Wow, I didn't ever know that. Now, I want to say this too. There's a lot of men off of these, they don't want to talk about it, but there's a lot of women out there right now that they're sitting next to their husbands, and they're the catalyst of everything.
They are.
And let me tell you something. I'm going to open up the lines to the audience for everyone to get the book right here from me. Our number here is 602-277-5369, and toll free it's 1-866-536-1100. Call in here, get this book. It's invaluable to not have. Really, you should have this book.
Yes, it's a lot of this work was done in the 1970s by a doctor named Rhoda Barnes, and then Dr. Mark Starr repeated that work in the 1990s. So, this is information that every single doctor across this country should know and should be telling their patients about, but they're not.
That's what I love about this show. It's information for people out there, and that's what you're getting. This book is free to you. Call us here. You check them out on their website. It's Thyroid Doctor Arizona. It's all spelled out. Thyroid Doctor spelled out. Arizona spelled out. .com. You can also call their office. It's 480-607-6503, or call me here. Get this book. Start off with that. You're going to realize what your thyroid can do to you, and that could be some terrible things. And a heart attack is one of them. 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. So how did this all come about or happen? How did this whole thing that you're doing here?
Well, it really happened from a friend of mine that I saw her life get revolutionized by getting her hormones optimized. She was about 42 years old. She had to go to bed at 8 o'clock at night, had no libido, no interest in life really, dragged herself out of bed in the morning.
How many people can relate to that?
Yeah, dragged herself out of bed in the morning, no real drive or interest in life, and she went from doctor to doctor to doctor, from a vegan diet to this diet to those supplements. Just a myriad of treatments that I watched her go through for about 15 years. And then she finally got her hormones checked. She did some lab work, and she was with a physician that actually interpreted these labs in a different way. And when she, as a woman, got her testosterone levels actually optimized and checked, and her thyroid levels, right? So I'm going to tell you this, women are a lot more complex than the men. Men are pretty easy to fix.
Thanks a lot.
All right, but women are a little bit more complex. But we can fix them. And it's usually a hormonal deficiency or a nutritional deficiency that is perpetuating these undesirable symptoms in our body.
I have a question to ask you. There's a lot of women that, let's say, have been through menopause.
Yes.
does it mean that they say, well, I've been through menopause, so I must not have hormone problems anymore? Is that
is
true?
a huge fallacy. It's completely
I bet you it is.
untrue.
Go ahead.
So what happens at menopause is you've already lost your testosterone, you've already lost your progesterone production, and the last thing to go is your estrogen production, right? And the increase in heart disease from premenopause to postmenopause goes from 1 in 7 to 1 in 3. So this is what women really need to pay attention. Estrogen is protective to the heart. Estrogen is protective to the brain. Everybody's worried about Alzheimer's disease these days, right? Estrogen is protective to the bones. People are worried about osteopenia, osteoporosis, right? So when you go into menopause, full-blown menopause, it means you are not producing any estrogen anymore.
We've got our lines open here, and your hormones can not only cause women trouble, men trouble, they can give you a heart attack and even diabetes. We've got our lines open for everyone to get this book. It's Heart Attacks, Heart Failure, and Diabetes. Our number here is 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. Check them out. It's thyroiddoctorarizona.com. Hang tight. We'll be back in just a minute.
If I gave in,
So welcome back, everyone. We're talking with Gunther Mueller. He has never been on my show. He's a newbie, too. I didn't get to say that. I think we're live on Facebook also right now, so I want to say hi to everybody out there. Like us, follow us. We'll share the show later. The Vibrant Health Guru.
Yes.
And, I mean, you know, you call yourself that, but, you know, you've been doing this for a very long time. You've been involved with Get Well Scottsdale,
Yes.
which is right here, obviously, in Scottsdale. And you work with people with not just thyroid, but with a lot of different things. Tell them what you have over there at Get Well Scottsdale.
So we do everything from nutrition optimization. We do that with IV therapy. We do that with full-blown nutritional protocols that are very in-depth. You know, a lot of people go to the vitamin store, they go to the health food store, and they think they need to get a vitamin or something like that. And so they pick what's on sale on the shelf, or they buy their stuff at the big box stores. And really, a lot of people choose what they take by getting what's on sale. The truth is there's so many different things happening in the nutrition space these days that you really got to understand what you're taking. Like if you take vitamins and your urine stream becomes a bright fluorescent color,
Run.
Right. No, well, it means you're not absorbing anything, right? It's passing straight through you. So you're spending good money to put that in the toilet. When you use pharmaceutical grade supplements, and they don't cost any more than what you're paying for supplements, when you get them from a medical practice and a medical practitioner that knows what they're doing. So at Get Well Scottsdale, I mean, we have naturopathic physicians, we have PhDs in nutrition, where there's so much training that goes into that, knowing what supplements, and we do extensive testing to see what you're actually deficient in. So sore muscles and joints could be a thyroid issue, but it also could be a magnesium deficiency, right? So there's different elements. I always say this, when you give the body the raw materials that it needs, it has the innate intelligence to heal itself, to fix itself. And the root cause of the problem as to why we're having ill health in this country is because our food supply is really jacked up. It's laced with pesticides, herbicides. There is no nutritional content truly in the food. We're microwaving everything, which knocks out the nutritional value of that food almost instantaneously, right? So we're eating more than we've ever eaten as a society. And we're expanding at the waistline because of that.
And we're eating all the wrong things, and we're ruining it anyway. And it's already ruined when we buy it.
Yeah, even when we eat good things, the nutritional, I'll give you an example. A bowl of spinach in 1932 had 98% more iron in it than a bowl of spinach today. An apple had 60% more vitamin C in it back in those days than it does today. There used to be thousands of varietals of apples, and today when we go to the grocery store, we got like 7 of them because they look pretty and they taste good, but it doesn't mean that the nutritional content is there, right?
Well, it's true. And we've got a book that we're giving away that everyone's getting. It's free to you guys out there. It's called Heart Attacks, Heart Failure, and Diabetes. And whether you want to believe it or not, that your hormones are all affected, and it could affect you in this way. If you had a heart attack, you could be it because of your hormones. Have them checked. Now, we've got our lines open for everyone to get the book. Our number here is 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. You could check them out on their website, which is Thyroid Doctor. It's all spelled out, Dr. Arizona, all spelled out.com. You can also call them direct. Their phone number is 480-607-6503. Call us here, get the book. That's going to be the start. Find out what it is. Maybe you're having an issue with something and you don't realize it's your hormones. Our number here is 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. Call in here and get the book. Men, don't think you don't have hormone problems. Women who are older like me, don't think you don't have hormone problems, because we do.
Yes.
We all are walking around with problems.
I always tell people that 50 years ago, 100 years ago, this conversation did not matter. Do you know why?
No.
Because we didn't live as long. Okay, people left the planet at 50, 55, 60, 65 years old. And I really think that's why the retirement age was set at 65, because you weren't supposed to collect any of those Social Security checks, all right? You were supposed to be long gone, right? But now Western medicine has, come up with techniques to keep us alive longer. It doesn't mean that our quality of life is improved. It just means our longevity of life has improved. So now we're living to 70, 80, 90 years old because we're going to replace your hips and your knees and keep you alive. But what does the last 10 years of your life going to look like? What is it going to feel like?
Not a pretty sight.
Not a pretty sight, right? I'm telling you, when you optimize your hormones, you optimize your nutrition, you follow good diet, lifestyle,
the point
parameters.
is that you can live a very quality, good life if you are eating right.
Yes.
What else?
Good regular exercise. Your body is meant to move. Now, I'm not telling you have to work out, 7 days a week for 3 hours or anything like that. It's about moving your body, move your muscles, breathe, get some movement into your life. If you're drinking coffee, sitting in front of the TV all day, that's not going to work out too good for you, right? So it's not, but I'll tell the flip side is all the people that do work out like crazy and they run 10 miles every day and they go to the gym all the time. If they don't take a look at their true nutrition and their hormones, they're not going to fare so well either. Their joints are going to wear out. Their muscles are going to wear out. They're going to have bone loss, okay? And they're still going to suffer from things like Alzheimer's and heart disease and osteoporosis and just have fatigue and mood swings and depression and anxiety. I mean, we're becoming the Prozac nation in this country, right? If they can't figure out what's wrong with you, they say, oh, you're depressed. Let me write you a prescription for some Prozac.
It's sad.
It's sad, right? You can't sleep at night. It's going to be Ambien. Right.
Talk about, too, what you do naturally at Get Well Scottsdale.
So, there's a lot of natural things. People think hormone replacement is not natural. It is, because your body makes these things, and when your body stops making them, it declines. It ages inappropriately, right? So that's where these undesirable symptoms come from. When you replace, and that's what hormone replacement therapy is, we're just replacing what's missing. Now, there's a lot of fear and there's a lot of misinformation out there in the market.
I want to talk about some of those things. Now, do you have a lot of different modalities of different types of hormones? Because it works different for everyone.
Yeah, so we do everything. You can do oral medication, you can do creams and gels, you can do shots if you're a guy doing testosterone. We particularly like a modality called pellet therapy, which is these little things about the size of a grain of rice. They get inserted in the fatty part of your upper buttock in your hip area. And, women come see us every 3-4 months. Guys come see us 2 or 3 times a year. And it really stabilizes your hormone levels. You don't have the roller coaster ride. So we prefer that modality, but we have all the different modalities. The big thing that people need to know is, especially in women's health, since the Women's Health Initiative in 2001, those were all synthetic hormones. So all the bad news that you've ever heard about hormones, increased risk of breast cancer, increased risk of Alzheimer's, heart disease, all that kind of stuff, comes from synthetic hormones. Those are hormones that your body does not recognize. So things like Premarin or Provera, if you're taking those, that is not a natural substance. That's a horse estrogen. It's not a human estrogen.
It doesn't sound like a good thing to take.
It's not, but we've been doing that since 1942, right? So that's why women have had ill health really going forward. But when you use what's called bioidentical, or I like to call them human identical hormones, meaning the exact same molecular structure that your body has been producing all of your life, when you replace that, your body knows exactly what to do with it, and you don't have any side effects.
Now, we're talking, the book here is heart attacks, heart failure, and diabetes.
Yes.
Again, tell them why it correlates with hormones. Go ahead.
Well, everything is holistic, right? You can't look at one thing in your physiology and your body system and say, oh, I got it, I'm going to solve that. You have to look at everything holistically. So at Get Well Scottsdale, what our practitioners do is they're doing extensive lab work. They're doing extensive health history with you. They're talking to you for like an hour, hour and a half. I mean, last time you went to your doctor, you probably saw him for 10 minutes.
Not even a doctor.
Not even, right? So our in-depth health analysis takes an hour, hour and a half. We're really looking at your life, your history, your habits, your food, how you move your body, your family history, things like that. We're looking at the whole picture. So, we have a diabetes epidemic going on in this country. It is related to what? You call it insulin resistance, right? That's what it is. Our sugar intake. I mean, everything we touch today is low fat means it's high sugar. And that was given to us in the 1970s with the whole exercise craze that started, get a treadmill in your home, get an elliptical, do all this kind of, that really started in the 70s. Jack LaLanne, that's where it started, right? So we think we need to work out. But I tell you, you can do 50,000 crunches in the gym. You can work out till you're blue in the face and not lose 1 pound if your hormones are not optimized.
Very true. And don't think of it as just for us women. It's you men out there too. So the book is called Heart Attacks, Heart Failure, and Diabetes. It all encircles together. So our number here, we're going to give it to everybody. You can call in here, and I'm going to let you keep on calling for the next 5 minutes or so. Our number here is 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. Get the book. Start with the book. If you have some questions, start with that. Then you can call them direct. Their phone number is 480-607-6503. They're located in Scottsdale. That's why it's called Get Well Scottsdale. And their website is Thyroid Doctor. It's all spelled out. Dr. Arizona is spelled out. So thyroiddoctorarizona.com. Keep on calling here and get this book. That's where it starts. The number here is, again, 602-277-5369. What are your final words for today?
My final words is that if you've been going from doctor to doctor to doctor and you have the symptoms of fatigue, unexplained weight gain, depression, thinning hair, poor memory, brain fog, infertility, low libido, PMS, right? Or PCOS. That's another big one that we haven't talked about. Muscle aches, joints, sensitivity to hot and cold. If you're
the bottom line is, if you don't feel good,
that's right. You come see us. Come see us at Get Well Scottsdale. At least get some lab work done and have a practitioner look at it with a different set of eyes, different than what you might have been experiencing with whatever doctors you've seen in your life. We look at the world through a different set of lenses.
But you also do a plethora of things, some of them very natural, some of the new things like the IV therapy. IV
therapy, we do erectile dysfunction or vaginal rejuvenation, things
all
like
of
that.
Those good things for us old folks out there. Call in and get the book. The number here is 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. Start with that. Get some questions answered. Also call them. Their phone number, it's 480-607-6503. Or call us here direct at 602-277-5369. Get the book from me and start feeling better. Check them out on their website. It's Thyroid Doctor, all spelled out, Arizona, all spelled out, .com.